Welcome to Backstage, small church, big vision. Just because you're small doesn't mean you can't have big vision.
If you're a small church leader and you want to have big impact, this podcast is for you. So let's get into it. What's up, Backstage leaders? I'm Kevin.
I'm Andrew Gravagna.
And welcome back to Backstage Small Church Big Vision. We're going to be continuing our conversation of how to have big impact with tight resources. If you want to check out part 1 of this topic, press the link above.
And now it's time for our favorite time of the podcast.
That's right. Worship fail
reaction.
Yeah, man.
So good is it?
I can hear what she's going through right now.
Why is Reckless Love? By the way, I don't know if you've ever played it. It's one of the easiest intros.
Is it okay if we start that again? We're in the key of G. We're in G.
Oh, he came out of nowhere.
The wrong
Started
key.
the wrong key, and I can't. That was just terrible.
Oh, no.
So we gotta restart it. So let's clap.
Oh, you
Wait,
need.
did they redo it? No, wait.
And let's sing it. Come on.
Oh, no, they still got
Oh, no. Not only was it in the wrong key the first time, but the second time.
Hold on. We're gonna do it one more time. Do you trust us?
Just us.
Let's just play it. Just us. Here we go. You ready? 1,
Oh, no.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh my gosh.
What do you do?
You do exactly what you do. You just stop it. You're like,
Wait, so do you just like stay there and just let it roll?
you know what the best part about having to stop the song mid intro is?
Is it really a best part though?
No, not really. But the opportunity is to be able to take that loss and turn it into a win.
That's true.
And speaking of that, lose, learn, win. I got a couple of losses this week. Actually, no, I only have one. I have a couple of wins.
Well, if you ask your pastor, you're probably about like 3, 4.
I have the best pastor in the world. I will brag on him day in and day out. But
Yeah,
yes,
awesome.
he always tells me, he's always like, I got a binder full of losses for you, Kev. I'm like, yeah, you
Yeah, my dad's the same way
probably
with me,
do.
man. That's crazy.
But yeah, do you got any losses this week?
Mine's really, really bad and similar to. We could have just put that as a worship fail, okay? And we're going to worship. I'm ready. I'm prayed up. We're about to play your song, and as soon as the zero hits down, all of a sudden I'm like playing the guitar. I'm like, wait, why can't I hear myself? Dude, I forgot to plug in my guitar. My
Oh my
acoustic
goodness.
guitar.
Oh no.
And so the whole time, do you fake play or do you actually play
no.
the whole time? I played. but-
Yeah, you're not going to stop the song and say, wait, hold on, let me plug
Wait,
in.
hold up a second. All the crackling sound too.
Last week we talked about the advantages of having tracks. Maybe this is a disadvantage because you couldn't hear that you weren't playing, right?
I could have told, because the drummer, when a drummer runs the tracks, I could have been like, yo, EG, but he probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't have thought about it. But what to learn from this? Make sure that you actually plug in your guitar,
Plug in your guitar.
please, and you can get a W out of
Oh
that.
my
But
gosh.
definitely a W. Another worship thing. We finally have a bass player. Okay. Finally have a bass
Important.
player.
That's important.
Yeah, we have been praying about it for a long time. We're just having for rehearsals for right now, but
Yeah.
because it's
To
not
bring
just
him
about
in.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, bring him in.
It's good to bring him in, disciple him there.
Yeah, of course.
And he definitely has a passion for God and passion
Yeah.
for music.
Oh yeah,
So,
and you can start the chemistry there.
absolutely.
Rather than him coming in cold on the worship team. Of course,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Yeah, I my loss comes off the tail end of a win. So, as you guys know, last week I brought up that I was predicting a win because we were starting Bridge Kids in person again. Yeah, baby. Well,
Nice.
The loss was I planned everything, every little thing to perfection in my opinion, except for the fact that there's maybe 10 minutes of registration time. So we start at 11. So from 11 to 11:10 or 15, I didn't plan any like icebreaker games or
You didn't plan again?
anything. No, I planned a game, but sometimes people show up late and you don't want to start the service because people are late. So you have like a little bit of icebreakers.
I feel that way about you sometimes. but-
Yeah, you have to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't do that, and the kids looked bored.
That's a bad feeling.
That was a big L, man. I was so excited. I planned the worship music. I planned the lesson, the object lesson, the game. Game was fun and everything, but I started off with not that much energy because I didn't have any icebreakers planned. But I'm learning from it. I already, right now, today's Tuesday, Monday's my day off. I already know the icebreakers for Sunday morning.
Right.
Boom. Perfect. But my win for sure is literally that whole day was a big win. The kids, not only were they trying to readjust to being back in church and having a ministry for themselves again, they were actually adjusting to a whole new program. Now the way that I've changed it up, it's really high energy, and they're not quite used to that yet. But they were really interactive. They were enjoying themselves.
That's good,
so
man.
that was a big W for sure. So I had a loss. I learned from it. I already planned for next week, but there was a W in there. There was a win.
Speaking about loss and wins, I know I got my first W of the season in fantasy.
Fantasy, baby.
1-1, and guess what? Your perfect season.
I know my perfect seas's done.
That's why he had to go so hard last week
by 3 points.
But now we're tied. We're 1-1.
We are. Who did you beat last week?
I beat.
Yeah.
My dad.
That's right.
And during that draft, during that Chili's, you're talking all that smack. How you refer to me as a champ. You come. You kiss my ring.
Kiss my ring.
Listen, my team's name is Our Year.
It's not.
It's our year. It's not the Jets' year, apparently.
It's my year. Philly. That's my team.
It's definitely not there.
Philly.
Listen, you can't do anything about it, man. We just got to hold the L. But anyways, on to our next topic. We're going to Backstage news. And so the news we have today is Gen Z Bible Devotional is canceled.
Yeah, it's a really big shame. There's a guy named Cool Carl.
That's a cool name, by the way.
Is a cool name. I've just found out that that's actually not his real name. It blew me away. It's just a character. I know not Cool Carl, but I thought his name would be at least Carl.
Was it even Carl?
No, it's not even Carl.
What's his name?
I forget. But it blew me away. It was something basic like John. I don't remember.
Ew.
But yeah,
No,
I know.
I'm joking.
But this is what happened. So this guy, they create this character named Cool Carl. They help out with a couple different curriculums. Actually, no, I think they only help out with Grow that I'm aware of. But
right.
What he does is he owns his own t-shirt company. It's called Sunday Cool Tees, which I really highly suggest checking out. They make really good t-shirts. They're a lot of youth ministry goes for them for like retreats, fall, winter, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm totally gonna get myself some, especially for my kids ministry volunteers.
Yeah.
But what they did was one of the characters that he has is, if I'm correct, his name Brock, and he's like the Gen Z guy. Cool Carl is supposed to be millennial, right? And they're just bashing on different generations.
Yeah.
And so Cool Carl talks about Gen Z, how they have a weird lingo, weird words they say, stuff like that. So, and then Brock is like basically translating the Bible into Gen Z terms, but it's just a joke.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
I don't know. I know my youth group would just die laughing if I did something like that.
Listen, the guy was trying to. It was a whole group, a team that was trying to write a devotional that can reach out to youth.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not theologically incorrect. If it's they have one translated verse, and then they have this legit devotional next to it. It's just a joke. But basically what happened is one lady on Twitter didn't even buy the devotional, didn't even read it, just started talking mad trash about it, saying they're trying to start their own actual translation. Yeah, it's not Holy Spirit filled. Some people like that. So it got canceled, and Lifeway dropped them. It was a big ordeal. Lifeway even wrote an apology. Oh, we dropped the ball, and it's a shame. It really is a shame.
I mean, what? If kids, if it's not wrong, and it's not speaking heresy, or it's talking bad about God, it's just a different terminology. It's just it's a funny thing. Come on,
it's hilarious. It's just Gen Z lingo. But good news. Oops, good news is that they are actually self-publishing. So
Nice.
so if you want to check them out, go to SundayCoolTees.com. I believe that's their website. Go buy a couple of them.
Yeah.
Hand them out to your teens if you're a youth pastor, because they're just funny. They are highly exaggerated in the lingo. It's just fun. It's
just
all for
fun.
fun. And it's a shame that even happened.
If it connects them to Jesus, well, that's all
It
that
connects
matters,
the
right?
kids to Jesus, and again, it's not even the real language of Gen Z. It's exaggerated. So it's a joke, and it's a shame that it got taken that far.
Yeah.
But speaking of youth ministry, last week we introduced the topic of be creative with what you have, and how to have big impact with tight resources. This week, we're going to speak specifically about youth and children's ministry. So if you're a youth or children's pastor
Yes.
or a leader, this podcast episode is for you.
Yes. And before we get into it, make sure that you follow us
Yes.
on all social platforms, whatever you're listening to us on. If this has helped you, or you think it's helped a friend, please like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and hit that bell so you can get
Yeah,
the
man.
latest of what we're doing here.
Notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, if you think we're a blessing and you believe we could be a blessing to somebody else, just share.
Please, yeah.
Share. Because we started this podcast to help out people like you and people that you know. Not a lot of people have resources like this. So please share if you believe we could be a blessing to
Yeah,
other
if we
people.
had what we knew and we would talk about, especially today and last week, we would be so
Yeah.
far ahead.
Oh yeah,
know?
so please share. But for today, let's get into it.
And so the first thing that we want to talk about today is to create your own material.
That's right.
I don't know about you, but when I started, I had a lot of time on my hands. I worked with my family, but I was called to the ministry. I was called
Yeah.
to be a youth pastor at the time. And I had a lot of time on my hands to create my own stuff, to save money.
Yeah.
I didn't have the amount of people at the time, even though I had like 1 or 2 volunteers.
It probably helped out the church too. Like
Yeah,
'cause
absolutely
You have
did.
time you're saving the church money also.
Yeah, and that's how I took it, even though I didn't know everything that was out there yet.
Yeah.
But I took my time. I created my own stuff. So the first thing that you could do is create your own message series. Message series
Oh yeah.
are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
We do them on Sundays, you know.
Yeah.
We do them for C Kids or Kids Ministry.
Yeah.
And so for youth group, it's awesome to do a message series on whatever you're talking about. The first message series that we did was Jesus. The foundation of
Boom.
Christianity.
There it is.
We had a lot of people that came into
During that time.
we had a lot of kids in our youth group that invited their friends.
Oh,
so
sweet.
a lot of them didn't know who Jesus was. And so it was
God's timing for that one.
Yeah, it was an amazing
Yeah.
topic. We
Yeah,
had like
God's timing.
2 or 3 kids get saved.
Oh, praise the Lord,
and they're
man.
in the youth ministry today.
Praise
and
the
so
Lord.
we create our own graphics, and that was my next thing.
Yeah.
You know, you can create your own graphic.
Yeah.
You go on YouTube, like we were talking about last week.
YouTube, everything.
everything. It is everything.
Yeah, man.
You can create your own graphic. You can create your own message series. And so the next thing that we could talk about is make your own small group Bible sheet.
Oh yeah.
You know, small groups are amazing for the youth. How
Yeah.
was your experience with small groups?
I'm not gonna lie. The first go at small groups was a little difficult. But you have to create that culture.
Yeah.
But what I had a friend who was really good at doing what you're saying, create your own like small group worksheet sort of thing, because he even bought like a tiny binder about this big. And the sheets of paper, the worksheets were probably about that big also. And so what it was is he turned it into a thing. If you keep bringing back your binder, you get points.
Yeah.
or
That is really
whatever.
cool.
Yeah, and he was like, dude, by the end of the year, I thought the kid that was not paying attention, the kid that was not writing notes, he was the one who won the prize because he had every like sheet from every week of that year. It's crazy. So yeah, but me personally, I've struggled with small groups. So if you're struggling with small groups and you're listening to this, you're not alone. It's really difficult, especially
when you are small.
Especially when you're small. Like okay, it's not a small group if your lesson was the same amount of people, right? And so
I just put so when I did stuff like that, we put a lot of engaging questions.
Yeah.
Questions about their personal life. Really building. I guess small group is really about building relationship.
It's
right?
all about building relationships.
It's building relationship with the kids, especially when you're small. That's what matters. That's what's gonna make them want to come. That's gonna make them invite their friends, you know?
Yeah, so you got to make sure you put the right person doing small groups, because if
That's
it's someone who's a Debbie Downer,
Yeah, no. You
Which-
can't have that.
which that was my experience as a youth and as a youth pastor. So, yeah, man, creating
Yeah.
your own small group worship like worksheets is perfect.
And I also did the same thing. So when I started,
Yeah.
this is my next thing. I created my own worksheet for the actual message series.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know when you came and shadowed me, and when we first met, you came.
Yeah.
You were wondering about the binder. So we have binders of each
Yeah.
message series, and they would follow along where it was. So I would basically have fill out sheets so they could fill out where I'm at in the message series, and they were paying attention. It really did help in a lot of ways when we started, and they were learning a lot. It was not like a classroom setting, but it was like you said, like it was more like a small group.
But even lead pastors do that for people in some churches. They'll have like in their bulletins, they'll have the
message,
the fill-in sheets of like they will have their points, and they have to fill in the keyword or whatever.
Yeah, and they have something,
perfect.
and also they have something. It's good for parents too, in your relationship with them, because they know what you're actually teaching,
Yeah.
and what you're talking to them about, and also they're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They have something to bring home.
Yeah.
So that really helped me in creating our own message series, our own material, and also we what we did was we found our own games.
Yeah.
You know, I know we put that in. We have this in later in our what we're gonna be talking about. But we found our own games on YouTube, on free apps. I know you were showing me that new app for was it Grow?
Yeah, from Grow.
From Grow, they had a whole bunch of social distance games, especially for today.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So important to have. A lot of parents that want to have social distance or aren't amazing. Or comfortable with a ball or touch and contact games right now.
Oh yeah,
Right?
nobody wants to do it.
And so you have free material.
Yeah.
You have free material. YouTube, everything.
Now here's the thing though. We're talking about creating your own stuff, but the reality is some of you out there are like, yeah, okay, I don't have time to create my own stuff.
Right.
Right? And that's true. So sometimes what you got to do is don't reinvent the wheel. So so don't reinvent the wheel. There are a lot of materials out there already. Even if you have a call to be a full-time pastor and you have that calling on your life, this may not be the season where you are full-time. This may not be the season where you're even part-time.
Right.
It could be the season where you're a volunteer pastor, where I've done that everywhere I've been except for here. So don't reinvent the wheel. Literally, this goes for children's and youth. You can look up all forms of material. Listen, Pinterest for kids ministry is amazing. You could find crafts. You could find decorations. Heck, sometimes you can even find games. And so don't try to like have like all your games and crafts like interact with your lesson, because sometimes we get so focused on, okay, well, if we're going to talk about Jonah, let's have a big fish craft.
Yeah.
No, it's okay to just have a regular craft, and it's okay to
Something
find it
that's
on
fun.
Pinterest.
Something that's fun for the kids.
And I feel like sometimes us pastors get so prideful that we feel that we're inferior if we, seek help somewhere else, if we don't create our own material. No. You're not inferior. No. You need help.
Yeah, there's people that have different ideas and different mindsets and have been there.
Yep.
It's great to get different creative ideas.
Yeah, and then like say you're trying to create your own message series, and you're trying to say you're going through the book of Thessalonians, First Thessalonians. Like you're reading chapter 1, and you're like, I don't know how to break this up in 3 weeks. Man, I don't even know how to do this in 1 week.
Yeah.
Don't reinvent the wheel. Listen, go to YouVersion Bible. Like you go to that app, they have like these devotional plans that like from they could go from a week long to 3 days long to a month long, even a year long. So what you can do with those is you can literally follow like start a plan and take the main scriptures it's talking about for that day and the overall theme of the devotional, and craft that into a lesson. And yeah, you have to craft it, so it does take a little bit of time.
Right.
But it's a lot easier than reading that scripture and trying to excavate everything out of it. It's already done for you.
And also Orange, because we do Orange now as a youth group and as kids ministry. They have their own YouVersion Bible study plans on the app as well.
So just check that out.
And so you could just check it out. You could check it out, and they have everything organized for you.
Oh yeah, they do. And again, like you said, like we were talking about earlier, games on YouTube. So like you could create your own games by changing it up. But maybe you don't even want to change it up. Maybe you just want to do the exact game the exact way that it was on YouTube. And it's okay to do it that way. Another way to get a better program for youth or children is downloading some free samples from curriculums. You have Orange, you have Grow, you have Download Youth Ministry, you have all of these curriculums. I personally use Grow, and honestly, I love Grow so much. I've been if anybody is listening from Grow, I've been stealing your stuff for years.
You little devil, you.
I know. I mean, listen. They have so much material that is out there, and I guarantee you that they even tell you it's okay to use this stuff. But they help out the little church. They help out the little guys, and honestly, their curriculum is not expensive. So there can be room in your budget for this sort of thing. Either you can do a full year annual payment plan, or you could do every quarter, and so it breaks it down to like maybe $200 every 3 months. Like it's a doable plan.
Yeah, definitely.
It really is. So I highly suggest checking out Grow.
Check them out.
Kenny and Elle Campbell do a fantastic job. The guy we were talking about earlier, Cool Carl, who wrote the Gen Z devotional. He actually helps out with the elementary school videos, and they are hilarious.
So they got cool people there.
And they're named Cool too, Cool Carl. But yeah,
does it get better than that?
No, it doesn't get better than that. But for sure, guys, check out those free samples of curriculum.
Check them out.
Because you may not know what you aren't doing at a youth group service that you could be doing.
Right.
Right. You don't think that you know how to run a youth ministry if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
Download a free sample, check out how they do the order of the night, and then just do that. I think most of them are a month long. If you can't afford to buy it, then just use that as an outline.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Every week, that's right. But yeah, so curriculums like Grow, Orange, Download Youth Ministry. The one thing that I find that's very consistent about all of them is they have Facebook groups, like we talked about last week.
Facebook groups.
Facebook groups are amazing. So yeah, Facebook groups. There are so many of them. I personally, again, you can either do just youth or just children or both. I'm a part of like maybe 6 or 7.
I'm like 2.
To be completely honest, 2.
Yeah, I'm in 2.
And they do a lot of stuff for you. You could get game ideas, right?
That's why I think I have one specifically says youth games.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even on that one.
I think that's
Go
the
to
one.
youth games. Or whatever it is. Yeah, no, that's pretty sweet. But yeah, so you could get game ideas, and
amazing.
To be honest, youth pastors all the time are like, "Oh my goodness, I have youth group tonight. I don't have a game. Somebody help me out." And like they'll get hundreds of comments like, "Do this, do this, do this, do this."
Yeah,
it helps, dude. It's amazing. You have a community around you for stuff like that.
Oh no, it wasn't a Facebook page. It was an Instagram page called Youth Games. Yo, it's actually really good.
That's pretty cool.
Youth Games on Instagram, they have a lot of really cool games.
Check them out.
They actually, they were telling, I know, I'm sorry, but they were doing like a game, a Bible story game, and they had a whole bunch of people help out. Yeah. And I think they were talking about the story of Jesus.
Yeah.
Preaching and teaching, and when they took the man, they put him, brought him out the roof. They had this dude in the attic, dropped a rope. They had people help him get down. Oh my gosh, that had to have been the funniest thing though.
Only youth ministry. No, I'm kidding.
And then somebody breaks their leg, and yeah, that's not good. But
and then you have moms calling you.
Yeah, maybe not do that specific game.
If you do, let us know how it goes.
but Facebook has a lot of great ideas for that.
Oh yeah, no joke. And then even, believe it or not, shared lessons. People will share their lessons with you, lesson series, graphics, whatever, that they will share their lessons with you. Either, I'm hoping they're not taking their paid for curriculum and just blasting it out there.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that. And if you're listening, don't do that.
Yeah, that's
what they'll do is they'll be like, oh well, sometimes even like Life Church's open resources, they have free stuff as well. So that's something you could check out. We'll have, by the way, everything we're talking about, we'll have in the description below. We'll have links and everything. Always check it out.
We'll hook you up.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about specifics without giving you the specifics.
Right.
Right. So we'll give you the links of everything. But like, yeah, so shared lessons. There's been many times where like I did a series called On Mission. And not only did my teens do very well for it, but the denomination I was in asked me to do like a seminar for like one of our district events, and like it was the favorite. So I was like, oh, I'll turn this into a package. Like, so I did a month thing. I made a sermon graphics for each, title, slides, whatever, and I just sent it off to the youth pastor Facebook realm. And, a few people got stuff out of it. Really, they did. And then, again, social media graphics. You may not be a graphic designer. Like, you may be someone who has Canva and, like, still doesn't know how to make a solid looking graphic for a sermon, but you don't have to. If you check out these pages, you have a community of pastors around you that you don't even know personally that want to help you out because they know the struggle.
Yeah, because you don't want your youth group just to like call you a boomer because of how bad your graphics are, right?
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
No, no, we're not even boomers. I've been called boomer before. And then I said, I'm not a boomer, I'm a millennial.
And then they laughed.
And then the next day they made a joke, and I was like, I didn't understand. Huh? So I was like, what does that joke mean? And he was like, you millennial. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you, Gen Z? You guys ate Tide Pods.
Wait, I'm part Gen Z. So.
Oh no. Hey, he eats Tide Pods now.
Get here.
Yo, you deep fry them and everything?
I don't identify with Gen Z.
That's all right. That works. But yeah, so just to give you some specific Facebook groups, again, it'll be down in the description. But we have like Orange Students. What's the specific name for that? Don't they? Isn't it like XP3?
XP3 Students, I believe.
Yeah. And then there's Youth Pastor Central. There's Download Youth Ministry. They're a great resource, by the way. Download Youth Ministry. They have like standalone games you can purchase that you can do like on a Pro Presenter or PowerPoint. They're great, but they have their own Facebook group. Stuff you can use, youth ministry. By the way, that is Grow. Again, they do phenomenal stuff, so I'll check them out. If you're a children's pastor, stuff you can use, children's ministry. Not only is their youth curriculum really great, their children's is really great. And then there's children's pastor and children's ministries page. That's what it's called. Not necessarily the most trendy name, but that it's there, and I've gotten a lot out of it.
Yeah, it don't matter with that.
Yeah,
they give good material and
great material. Great material.
Just go with it.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
And so we'll go to the next topic: utilization of people.
Of people. Don't be afraid to talk to people.
Please. Listen, if Jesus had people around him, I think we should have people around us too.
Yeah, of course.
I think we should use people as well. One people group in your congregation or your church that you can use are teens. Teens are amazing because they have the one thing that a lot of adults don't have.
Energy.
I
called it. No.
I was gonna say something. That was a diss to all older people.
Oh no.
Well, that you're right, but they also have a lot more time. They don't have the same responsibility as an adult, and I can go with worship team, audiovisual, wherever you need help with your youth group. You can use your teens to help you out. I know personally, I've used one of my teens, and I discipled him, and I've strengthened him up, and also taught him the drums. A year from now, he was okay at the drums. He knew somewhat.
That's great now.
He's amazing. And the reason is because I invested time into him and I reached out to him. Don't be afraid to reach out to people, especially if you're not close to them. Because first of all, you don't know who they are. They can be an amazing talent that you're not getting the benefits of. You know? We need people to help us and empower, and also we need to empower them to become leaders.
Yeah, like the Bridge Kids, all the kids service videos. If it was just me and my wife, we could get it done. But we empower the teens to become leaders, and now they basically lead it, and it's great because of them.
Yeah, we have to have bigger. That's the point. Bigger vision.
Think bigger.
Generationally, right?
That's right.
Talk to people in your church, right? Don't be afraid to talk to them. Don't be afraid to talk to them. And so, also the next point, get a network of pastors to meet with regularly.
Yeah.
And I know
Very
that's how we both met.
Very important. Yeah.
My dad, my pastor, and his pastor, basically linked us up. We went to Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory. Good cheesecake.
Golden.
Good cheesecake.
They should endorse us. They should give us cheesecake.
Yo, we're plugging a lot of people in here. Nah, it's all good. It's all
Especially
good.
Cheesecake.
It's okay. but we met, right?
Yeah.
We met. We got connected. We hit it off right away.
Yep.
And then you started helping me. I started helping you, and
That's
we
it.
developed a real great relationship.
That's it. Not only that, we also are connected with another youth pastor named Levi. We met with him this past week, and there's another youth pastor that we're trying to meet up with named Jacob. Like, surround yourself with people who are in the same scenario as you. They may not be in the same culture, because we're all from different areas around around like Nassau and Queens, but we're empowering one another. We're helping each other out, and
you
we're
can connect,
encouraging.
and also we can connect each other's youth groups together or ministries together.
Oh yeah.
And listen, I don't know about you, but ministry can be very hard. Can be very hard.
Really hard.
And if you don't have the people around you and surround you with love and also understand what you're going through,
Oh yeah.
it can be even tougher.
It's really tough. It's really tough. But you have to surround yourself with people. You really have to.
Yeah.
But, now it's that time of the week.
It's the time of the week.
Question of the week. Yeah.
The question is,
Here we go.
if you could be in any movie, what would it be and what character would you be? That's a tough one, but
I know
Okay.
exactly who I'd be. And there's a reason.
Oh,
There's a reason.
I hope you're thinking what I'm thinking.
I would love to be in the movie Frozen.
That's what I'm thinking.
Who would I be? I know exactly who I'd be. I'd love to be Olaf.
Okay, so if you know the backstory of this, okay, at first time I met him, I'm like, who does he look like and who does he sound like?
I don't get it.
Bro, he looks like Josh Gad, and he sounds just like him. When he talks, he sounds...
I don't get it.
You go do your research. He looks like he talks like Josh Gad, okay? And he looks like Olaf sometimes. Acts like Olaf.
If you think I look like Josh Gad,
Can you do an impersonation real
please
quick?
comment down below.
Summer.
In summer.
No, it's Jose, bro. It's Josh Gad. It's Josh Gad on our podcast, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
If you think I look like Josh Gad, please let us know.
Yo, let us know if he looks like Josh Gad.
We'll
in the
finish
comments.
this argument this week.
Please.
All right.
Yes,
Who
yeah,
would
right.
you be in what movie would you be in, and what character would you be?
Batman Dark Knight.
Who you gonna be?
Who do you think I'm going to be?
Joker.
Ah, stop it. No way. No way. Okay, I love the Joker. He's my favorite, like, villain.
Joker's pretty dope.
He is so cool. I like Loki also, but I'd be Batman, man. Who wouldn't want to be Batman? You're rich. You're the coolest guy in the universe, bro.
Is he?
Yes,
is he
he
really?
is.
What about Iron Man? Iron Man's pretty
Iron
sick.
Man's cool, but
Iron Man's pretty
dude,
sick,
it's Batman.
man.
He doesn't need a suit. He could beat you up hand-to-hand combat.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
Just because they
Christian
make him
Bale.
do that doesn't mean he
He's
can.
got that voice, bro.
Oh my gosh. All right. I get it.
Voice.
I understand. He's got that voice.
I love Batman, man. I love Batman. But man,
Fair enough.
It's time to end, right? It's time
Yeah.
to close out the podcast.
It is time to close off the podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in this week.
Thanks,
if
guys.
you got anything from this, if you're blessed by this, or you feel like we could be a blessing to someone you know, maybe you have them in mind, please share us with them. Send them a message. Let them know specifically in the video, time code maybe, what they can get from us.
Yeah.
If you can, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the
Crap.
bell so that you can get notifications. Because if you don't hit that bell, you're not going to get notifications when we post videos. Maybe we'll even post videos that aren't podcasts.
Don't want to miss out.
You never know. Also, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We're pumping encouragement day in and day out because we know that our backstage leaders, you guys,
Yeah.
need encouragement just as much as we need encouragement.
Yeah. Stay tuned, guys. Stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned.
All right. See you next week.
Goodbye.